by the NRL.
Described as the most important meetings in the long histories of both foundation clubs, members arrived determined to do what they thought best. Even those who couldn't vote were in attendance, everyone anxious about the future.
It's the people's turn tonight to speak and say what they want, what they think, and what their heart tells them. So, you know, but I'm sure they'll make the right decision and see the light. And I just think that the merge is the best way to go.
After 2.5 hours of passionate debate, the Tigers had their decision. It was an overwhelming vote in favour of a merger.
Naturally, like I said, it was a very, very sad night.
At West, it was even more overwhelming. Members realising the Magpies wouldn't survive without the joint venture.
It's all we could do. What else could you do, mate? Hey? We die if we don't do it.
The deal will now be submitted formally to the NRL, which has promised $8 million to the new merged club. The pressure now on Norths, Manly and Souths, with the deadline for joint ventures expiring this Saturday.
I think common sense prevailed and the Tigers will live on.
Clinton Fletcher for Nightline.
In other league news, the Panthers' longest-serving player, Greg Alexander...
League's foundation teams have to set aside their allegiances in favour of pragmatism. Balmain and Western Suburbs, the Tigers and the Magpies, voted in favour of extinguishing their individual histories and starting afresh as a new entity, the West's Tigers. Let's go around the grounds. Leanne West is at Balmain and she joins me now. Leanne, what was the feeling like?
Oh, Tim, as you said, a night of enormous emotion, a night of great passion, and for many a night of enormous sadness. The vote here, though, was overwhelming. It was 3-1, 295 votes to 99. Afterwards, I guess a sense of resignation. The vote count came over the PA system here at the club. There was no cheering, no reaction. Just, I guess, a sense of acceptance that really it was merge or die. That certainly was the approach club management had. That was the line they were pushing quite strongly. As you can imagine, they were very, very happy with the outcome tonight. Here's what they had to say.
It was terribly emotional for a lot of people, and I think that statements made by Dawn and other board members and myself that they vote with their head and also keep their emotions in control, I think that happened tonight.
All true Balmain people, we would love to stand alone, but as John Chalk pointed out, the head must rule the heart when it comes to decisions that affect the long-term future of any organisation.
They say Balmain girls and boys don't cry. It was an emotional recommendation to be put up to the members. History's been made in the Balmain area again tonight, and I guess we now have to get on with the job of showing our supporters and our members that we can do a good job and that we've got the Tigers in the elite competition, and I think that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I can imagine, Leanne, what it would have meant to people like Dawn Fraser and Wayne Pearce, legends of that area. What was it like inside the meeting?
Well, the media was locked out, but we got a fair idea of what happened in there from speaking to club members afterwards. Balmain management, they really brought out the big guns tonight. Enormously influential list of speakers speaking in favour of the merger. It started with a national icon, swimming hero Dawn Fraser. You don't get any more Balmain than Dawn. She started, she moved the motion last week at the board meeting to go ahead with the merger. After Dawn spoke a succession of great players from the club's heydays. Keith Barnes, Wayne Pearce, Steve Roach, Paul Sirinen. Look, it really was obviously a very convincing argument put forward by those people. On the negative side, a group of 3 directors who resigned from the club's board last week when the board decided to go with the merger option. A very emotional speech too from one of the club's best-known supporters, Laurie Nichols. Laurie was in tears. He couldn't continue. Here's some reaction from some of the Balmain members.
It's a very difficult time for a lot of people that have followed the club for a long while, I think, but, you know, I think you've got to move on, you've got to move ahead, and not much else you can do, I think.
Well, I've been following the Tigers for 52 years, and the family 90. And we're just black and gold, and I think it's a mistake. I think we should have found the strength to keep going as we did for 92 years.
All right, Leanne, thanks very much for that. This is Leanne West at the Tigers Den at Balmain. And over at Campbelltown in Sydney's western suburbs, their meeting made no bones about it. They definitely wanted to become Tigers. Peter Ryan is at that meeting, and he joins me now. And we'll get to Peter shortly. And as you can imagine, this is very hard for supporters of rugby league clubs that have been around since 1908. Traditional clubs, they founded the rugby league when it broke away from rugby union all those years ago. And you can just imagine the emotion of people like Dorney Fraser and Wayne Pearce just having to face the reality now of the game they love and the team that they love no longer existing in their own right, but still existing in a way. So I think we've got Peter Ryan at Campbelltown now. And Peter, what was the feeling like over there at the Magpies?
Well, Tim, it was a very emotional here at Campbelltown. The members came here with one thing in mind, and that was to vote for pretty much a new club. Just 7 voted against the proposal to merge with the Tigers. 254 said, yes, let's go ahead with the deal. Coach Tommy Raudonikis, although he's very uncertain about his future, he was one of the yes men.
I think it's just great for Western Suburbs, and especially for Campbelltown, for the stadium. But I think me and Junior might be able to help out each other somewhere along the line.
Would you be prepared to take the junior position?
No.
I understand in the meeting you said you would apply for the job, but you didn't think you'd get it.
Probably not, because of my performance in the last 2 years, and it's no good saying we didn't have the money and that. It's just being realistic, and I know I've done it tough. It's not all my fault, but that's the way it goes, and I'm just happy that Western Suburbs survived.
Indeed, and of course, Peter, we all know it's been a difficult time for Tommy and Western Suburbs.
Yes, Tim, the club's been on tenterhooks for some time now. They've spoken to at least 5 other clubs about the possibilities of mergers, both formally and informally, and as recently as 2 weeks ago, they were still speaking with Canterbury. But as we now know, they've gone ahead with the merger with the Tigers. Although the fans here at Campbelltown are upset that it's the end of an era, they're also very positive about it being a new life for the club. Former Magpie John Dorahy, former international John Dorahy, had this to say.
It means a step in the right direction. You know, the game of rugby league stays strong in the area, and it gives the kids of the area then that opportunity to progress, you know, naturally as the years go by.
Mate, you wore that flag.
Yeah, and Peter, is there still some bitterness and a bit of anger over the Super League ARL war?
Oh, still plenty of bitterness here over that Super League clash, and as Tommy Raudonikis said, and I quote, what can you do? We lost the war. But I'll leave you with a positive note with words from a very new West Tiger fan.
Is this the new jumper, mate?
I hope it is, because Lisa shows the Magpie V. So
is this your design?
No, this is through the supporters club at West, so hopefully it's a good thing. We're with Balmain and we're not with Canterbury. That's the most important thing.
All right, Peter, thank you very much. Peter Ryan there at Campbelltown.